Sean here, WahooWarrior, here today at Fremont High School in Fremont, Nebraska, doing a game day event with Alan. We're going to be doing a 750-point tournament prep army. Quite a decent turnout here. Good crowd. Decent turnout. So it's interesting, fun little venue to be playing a game. We're going to be playing our game in between, kind of doing some demonstrations. So I have my British today.
Well, I've got the Americans.
Okay, so this is what we're planning to take to our tournament down in Lincoln on the 20th.
Right.
So, well, I'm going to go over my army list real quick. Alright, today we're playing a special scenario, no middle ground. So we've already rolled for our table quarters and we've got our tokens across. Half of our unit has to come, half of our army has to come in within 12 inches of the table quarter. I chose this one, I run the roll. And then the rest of our army comes in the reserve rules along the long board edge. I don't have anything in outflanking. I don't believe you do either, Alan? Okay.
Things in reserve.
What I chose for my first wave are my small truck and with 6 commandos, and then my larger truck with 8 commandos, and I got a Piat team as well. I needed halves, and then I have a mortar just because I needed the 6. I have my artillery observer set up behind that little hedge there, and then in reserves I've got my A9 cruiser tank, my light howitzer, and I've got these are part of the demo, they're not there, and I've got 2 regular infantry squads. So that's what I have. What do you have today, Alan?
Well, the American Army, in the first wave, I've got 2 Jeeps with medium machine gun. I have a medium mortar. I have a medium howitzer with spotter. A regular infantry squad.
Where'd you get that gun shield?
That is a gun shield off of the German TAC 40. But I did buy the gun shield, and with the gun shield not on it, I thought that looked just a little silly, so I went ahead and put that on there. And a veteran infantry squad, coming on. In reserve, I have an M3 half-track infantry unit, bazooka, and my first lieutenant. He's
And you
by
have
himself.
all veteran infantry, right?
No, this is a regular squad here. The light green infantry is regular. The dark green are veteran.
Okay. No air observer?
No air observer.
Good for me.
That's right.
All right. You can see Alan's been working on the train.
Yes. The Sarissa Precision is really looking very good. Got this, got the power plant, which you saw in that last battle report. I got that painted up.
It really
and
just kind of pops.
It really does make a difference.
That blue on
and
there.
the medium factory, that went together well. I really do like the quality of the buildings. And I got this building, it's 3/4 done. I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to paint this one, but it's coming along.
Yeah, maybe a white brick.
Kind of, yes, that's what I'm thinking. It's kind of an off-white with a maybe tan landings and split as opposed to the dark.
Cool, very cool. If anybody's interested, what we're at today is kind of a side event from this NukeCon. They're advertising NukeCon 2016. That's going to be in Omaha. It's mostly lots of different, zombie side, D&D, different types of board games, but miniature gaming. Who knows? We may be able to set up be a good time to set up a small 8-man or 10-man tournament or something.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. So we're going to get to playing the game.
Yes.
What kind of format? Just the initial setup of all the terrain. I go through a lot of the stuff on the videos. Since we're playing in a bigger event or a bigger venue where there's a lot of background noise, we're just recording in between turns. So I take some pictures of the setup, and then I take a few pictures of after turn 1. I end up taking more pictures as we go along. Just there's not really important for the turn-by-turn sequence in the first 2 turns, because it doesn't really matter who pulls our dice first. It does, but so you could See, I've got those guys all zoomed up there. But the main thing I'm thinking is my commandos can hold that against one unit of his if they come in on the half track. On the right hand side, I'm a little more concerned if all of his stuff starts to switch gears and come over the other way. I'll need some help on my right. I am very worried about his howitzer. It's a medium howitzer firing directly over its sights. Can actually start plugging my commandos in that house. So that's why I do have my artillery barrage. Okay, that's the end of turn 1. Took a couple still photos, kind of sped through that one. I got my commandos basically in the ground floor of that building, just for ease are on the top. And I got a bunch of Americans coming in the corner. I have nothing in my corner since they were both in vehicles and we have this nice road. So I'm actually way up there already. And I have a mortar team, and that's it. What are you thinking after the end of turn 1, Alan?
Oh, I'm fine with everything that's gone on so far. I think I'm in all right spot. Now I know where your stuff is, and
yeah, there's up and personal quick.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
It's like we put this road here when we first set up, and then when we rolled, and I picked this corner. I wasn't even thinking about the road.
I didn't see the road when you picked it. And it's like, oh, okay, well that worked out well. And
looks like
this one was
looks like
so
a shipping and receiving bay.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I truly was not thinking of that objective at all on my turn. So
right.
You know, it's not hindering my operation at this point.
Yeah, but now I need to decide what I'm going to do for the second objective. If I can hold that one, where am I going to concentrate my efforts on this?
Get to this one here, sure.
Okay, so we're going to, hopefully my artillery will come in and pin some stuff down, but we'll see. All right, we'll go to that.
Very good.
Actually does come in, and I roll 6s against his mortar and the howitzer. So that was way better than I even thought I could do. I was about a ½ inch away from hitting that other infantry squad, but I put 2 pins on the one. So this is basically the end-ish of turn 2, and I brought my stuff in right there. And I brought this squad in between the gap here. I want to be able to run them, so I didn't want them to go in the woods, and I didn't really want them in the bottom floor of that building as of at the moment. My tank is on the far right side. That is actually in right there. And then I had completely forgotten my lieutenant in turns 1 and not till the end of turn 2. And he was over on the demo board. I was using him over there. So my lieutenant actually rolled and failed to come in, rolled a 10. So there's just a good shot of the regulars. He's got some infantry on the road there. Oh, this is actually, you know, that's what I'm looking at for my big gun there. Knocked out my truck over on the left with his medium machine gun, some long range shooting down the road. That's okay. I just basically turn my trucks around and start moving them next turn down and out of the way, preserve the order dice. I got my commandos kind of shuffling around there. I've got my rifles here. I ping that half track and put a pin on it, and 1 pin on him and 1 pin on the lieutenant that's still in there. All those other guys jumped out, and he's got a whole bunch of infantry in the crossroads here, as you can see. Okay, that's the end of turn 2, going into turn 3. Decent, not a lot happened there. Turn 1 was good, or no, turn 2, yeah, the start of the thing. Yeah. So, killed the howitzer and the mortar, which was great, because I was really concerned about the howitzer just sitting the whole game shooting my guys over by this objective. Other than that, not much else happened. Jeep died, and then we've got a lot of infantry moving into the center here, which they can go a couple different ways. So it's a lot of 2 veteran squads. One of the things that Alan learned was the reserves. That's why we're playing this. I think he wanted his half track to come in on the corner and get that bazooka close to my tank. So then he was rudely interrupted by me throwing the rule book at him. The scenario pack, yeah, and that is something about the scenario that's when you're deploying. It's like you got to remember, because I was, you know, that's why when I deployed my commandos, I was like a little worried. I didn't want them exposed, so if you came on, you could just gun them down.
See, and I was actually backwards in my thinking because of that very thing. This was the marker, and this is a marker. marker I wanted to protect, not this one.
Right.
So my thinking on my strategy was just reversed. It doesn't change, now it doesn't change my strategy, but it would have before. I would have contested this.
Yeah, I did. This is the second time I played this one. Me and Josh Dunn,
Yes.
we both did the same thing. After we started to play, it's like, wait a minute, why did I choose these things for my
I'm so
when
glad we played this.
Yeah, because this time I left my howitzer in reserve, and it's in a much better spot, I think, to give me some fire in the later turns, as opposed to bringing it in the corner and not hardly have anything to shoot at. So, all right, so we're going to play turn 3 and start to speed up the pace here. I'll try to take more pictures as we go along.
Very good.
For turns 3 and stuff. Well, the first couple turns you just skip through.
What's really going on?
Yeah. Starts, he moves a veteran squad in the bottom basement of that house there on a run order. And then I pull an order dice and I move my tank and I just drive it right up on top of this rock, and I'm firing guns at anything that I can see. I actually shoot at some of his infantry, and I hit his half-track with a tank shot, but I roll a 1 on the wound, so it just crew stuns it. And then I fire at the truck some more with my infantry. He does get his lieutenant out, but he's dragging around a couple pins with him. I had 3 on there, 1 from the light anti-tank, and then some rifles. And then I got my rifle squad moves over here behind this wall. There's a lot of killing ground out there if I go out past there, so I'm just putting some shots down. Here I move my Piat team around the side of this woods just to, I'm thinking if I keep that half-track pinned down, I can score it with the Piat, or make his infantry stay and shoot at my Piat team. And he actually does. His regular squad I hit with a howitzer shot, and I rolled kind of poorly though. And then now he's got his bazooka team out there. He basically advances them out. They're exposed to my tank. He fires at my tank, needing a 6 and misses. So now it's whoever pulls first order dice. Here I'm just keep moving my commandos around. As of right now, I got this submachine gun squad out in the road, and there's really nothing for them to do. They've got a couple rifles, but yeah. So there's the overview of the board. He's got a bazooka trying to challenge my tank. My tank, if it doesn't die, it can just kind of work its way around the corner. It's doing its job. I'll have to deal with the bazooka man if I don't. I got a howitzer just laying down fire, and I got a mortar team laying down fire. So in turn 4. Got a little bit of action, not a whole lot going on. Or, sorry, end of turn 3, start of turn 4. I got 1 squad, took a little damage here, which is annoying. But he kind of paid the price because I rolled a 6 or a 5 or hit with my howitzer on his squad that did it to me. Other than that, my super tank driving over the top of the rocks was able to hit his half-track, but then I rolled a 1 to kill it. Right. His bazooka team comes out and missed with his shot, needing a 6 to hit me.
Lucky bastard.
Lucky. So, then it's just some posturing. He's got a veteran squad in that bottom floor, which is annoying. And then he's got his backup.
And
lots of backup
outside as well. Yeah.
So a lot over there. I didn't want to expose my commandos to getting wiped out just for the sake of getting a couple rifle shots. So things are going good for me. I like my disposition. I feel like I got you surrounded a little bit with that quick move in with those trucks.
Right.
So, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've got some work ahead of me. I've got to have a little better dice roll, and maneuvering is fine, but I need some stuff to work for me.
Yeah.
Besides that, if I can deal with this tank over here and contest this and that.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I was chatting with somebody online about tanks, and your bazooka team costs what? 50 to 60 points. My tank is a cheap tank and it's 125.
Yeah.
Even if you end up not killing me,
right,
and I spend 2 turns dealing with you
Right.
or avoiding you, points-wise, you're much ahead. Yeah, and I've said that like the...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So as long as you think in your mind, hey, I have a chance to kill the tank.
Sure.
If I don't, and I make it deal with me for 2 or 3 turns, or deny him where he would prefer to go, which is drive right up behind that Jeep and massacre guys in the street, then you're winning by countering it. So it's important to know. I always keep thinking I'm going to take a Panzer Schreck team with my Germans, and I never do because they're 80 points. But anywho, so we'll get to turn 4.
Very good.
This is out.
Here's just some still frames of the game. There's the bazooka team there. And there's my tank. Oh, it gets destroyed. He needed a 5 to hit me, but once he did, he tore me up. Got my rifle squad there seeking a little cover and trying to return some fire. And he's brave with these guys. Come all way up here. They run way up here. They're the ones that survived a howitzer shot. My Piat team fails its order check, goes down because he put up some rifle fire on him. Here, you know, I've got these guys in this building. I've got infantry squads all over the place, and got a lot of targets from my gun. But actually, I think I put it in ambush for like the next 2 turns, just to keep his guys from running out of there and catching some of my guys in transition. Especially, I've got an infantry squad that comes over in the middle and they're returning some fire. So I'm using my tank as a counter, and I'm just firing my mortar trying to get the HE hits. And I do actually get an HE hit on that unit once they come creeping around the corner, and put 2 pins, kill a bunch of guys. And his half track is just trying to get through the traffic. His lieutenant is up in there too. And then this is just my lieutenant working his way in there. Okay, it's the end of turn 4, going on to turn 5. Alan is in dismay at my mortar abilities. You think he's played me enough, he should... At least it's a medium mortar and not a heavy mortar. Yeah, I think that was...
only killed 3.
Yeah, that was the mortar's first hit. The other one was a howitzer. Yeah.
You shot that here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the turn before I shot and hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, zeroed in on a 2-up.
How you doing? Good, good.
So, should be going to turn 5.
Yeah.
Get some work for the Americans to do now.
Americans to do.
All right. See you shortly. So just a quick turn 5. I've got my howitzer still in ambush here, keeping him from coming out. My infantry squad that was over on the right-hand side, I moved him out of the way by assaulting his small squad, and it was basically 4 me or 5 of me versus 2 of him. Maybe the picture's a little out of order, but I am able to win that. He's got an infantry squad behind the hedge here. I'm giving him some shots with my commandos that peeked out. Here's where I assaulted him. He picked off 2 when he came over there, and then I assaulted that. So those are a little backwards in their sequence, but you get the idea. So I cleared that out, and then his half track and whatnot ends up driving around in front of the building, I think trying to trigger my ambush more than anything. And that's where I was firing my commando. So it's into turn 5, going to turn 6. Not a whole lot of activity. I've got my howitzer in ambush, just trying to keep his veterans from coming out and doing some damage. Got my commandos on the road there. I don't know why I advanced my other commandos out. I'll probably end up just moving them back in. That's about it. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm going to need a turn 7 to pull out a draw.
I did have a close combat there. I passed my order check. Got in
that
there.
was a good close combat, too. A couple of regulars really stabbing each other in the eye.
Mainly I got out of the way of my howitzer. If I would have stayed pinned there, then I would have been blocking my own shot.
Right.
And then I ended up not firing it. But
here it is. You know, I'm going to have to hope for a turn 7. But, you know, let's see what happens in turn 6. Yeah.
Here's just a couple more pictures. His lieutenant ends up shooting out that door and killing my Piat team before I can kill his half track. And this, towards the end here, I think these pictures are all messed up. But you can see I do kill that unit there. I think I hit him with a mortar again, and then He's got his Jeep. I ended up picking it off with a few rifle shots from my squad in the woods. That picture was his bazooka team ran in there, hoping for a turn 7 and maybe some kind of last-ditch run to contest a token, because he can move that veteran squad out and take that middle one, because I've been very hesitant to creep up on it. And we do roll a turn 7, and he tries to move his bazooka out, but I had got my guys on ambush, and I gunned him down before he could do anything. So turns out to be a win for the British. But anytime you play a new scenario, it really is, even though you can read it over and over again, the actual dynamics of what you want in your first wave and what you want to come in on your reserves, which are along the longboard edge, does throw you off. It happened to me the first time. Even the second game here, I didn't do it to perfection by any means. That road kind of made it real easy for me, and it actually changed my original intention, which was to try to take the far one on the right and the center, and then but with the road, it's just a no-brainer, especially since I had more mobile reserves than him. He had a lot of his infantry committed to coming in the first wave. So yeah, there's the game. It was fun. I think I've got a game coming up Tuesday. I'm going down to Kansas City and Lincoln, and I'll be playing a couple matches. So we should have some good battle reports against some different opponents coming up. Thanks for watching.